Hello Class 103, today is Tuesday, March 31st, 2020, and today what we're going to be doing is we're going to read a couple pages from the Storytown student book, and then we have work to do in the homework book. So what I want you guys to do today is to take out your student book on page 462, okay? So take out your student book, page 462. Let's get started. So if we look on page 462, we're learning about an animal again. So this one, the life cycle of a frog. The life cycle of a frog is different from the life cycles of most other animals. First, a tadpole or young frog hatches from an egg. A tadpole lives in water. It uses its gills to take in oxygen and its tail to swim. It does not yet look like its parents. So, we have the eggs up here, and then right here, after 2 weeks, that's the tadpole. So that's what a tadpole looks like. Next, the tadpole eats water plants and insects. It gets bigger and grows 2 back legs. So if you look, that's the next part right there. See how it's got the back legs? So it looks like a tadpole, but now it has back legs also. Then the tadpole starts to look more like a frog. It still has a tail, and now it also has 4 legs. It uses lungs to breathe. So that's right there. Now it looks more like a frog. It has front legs, back legs, and it still has a tail. Last, the frog is fully grown and has no tail. The frog looks like its parents. It lives on land most of the time. It can have its own young. Okay, so there's the frog. That looks like a normal frog at about 14 weeks. Instalab, a dragonfly's life cycle. Look at 3 picture cards that show a dragonfly's life cycle. Put them in sequence in which they happen. Okay, you don't have to do that, but just remember, read this if you have to. That's all we're reading today, is just about the frog's life cycle. So read this again if you have to, okay? But now, we're going to move on to the homework book. The life cycle of a frog. So there's some words up here that you have to know. Try and do some sentences here if you can, just so you really understand it. But now, let's look at the comprehension questions we have to do. So these are on the pages we just read, so let's do number 1. Why does the author write this science lesson? So why do you think the author wrote what we just read about? Why would he write that? Why would he write about the life cycle of a frog? Well, I mean, one reason is probably so that we can learn about the life cycle of a frog, right? If he's going to write that, he wants us to learn about it and know more about it. So for number 1, we can say the author wrote this science lesson so readers can learn about frogs. So I wrote that right here. The author wrote this science lesson so readers can learn about frogs. Oh, is there a period there? There should be a period right there. There you go. So learn about frogs. The author wrote this science lesson so readers can learn about frogs. Okay, now let's go to number 2. Is this information fiction or nonfiction? How do you know? So, we already know that fiction is not real. It is fake, it is fantasy, it is made up. And nonfiction means it is real. It's talking about things that are actually true and can happen. So in this story, is it fiction or nonfiction? The answer is it is nonfiction, because this frog is real, it exists, and all of the information that we've been told is true. So we can say this information is non-fiction. fiction because the frog is real and the information is true. Okay, here's what I wrote. This information is nonfiction because the frog is real and the information is true. Okay, so this information is nonfiction because the frog is real and the information is true. So pause the video to make sure you have the right answers right here, okay? All right, and that, guys, is our lesson for today. If you have any questions, call or email and we can help. And I will see you guys probably sometime either this week or next week. So have a good day, guys. Bye.